decentralized VPN, Mysterium virtual private network, Mysterium Bitcoin, Mysterium good investment. Should I invest in Mysterium? Is Mysterium a good coin? Mysterium coin. Mysterium cryptocurrency. Mysterium. Mysterium. Mysterium coin. Mysterium coin. Mysterium coin. Mysterium coin.
Mysterium coin. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Happy hump day. Show's not starting soon. It's now. Hope everyone's doing just fine and dandy. I am the Data Lord. This is Crypto and Coffee, and you're watching Decentralized TV. Let's go ahead and get into the markets, and we'll read some stories. How does that sound? Go ahead and whip this out. Just like that. Like this and like that and like this and like this and like that, like this and So let's take a look here. I have too many tabs open. There we go. So Bitcoin is rock steady. We're seeing a little bit of uptick, but we're still at 29K. Trying to break over 30K today, but we'll see. Ethereum kind of playing the same game. You know how Ethereum, I've shown you, we're bouncing around in that 17 to 19 range. Well, here we are at 19, so that's cool. XRP, because of the SEC ruling, is doing pretty nice right now. 7-day has seen 68.8% up, but today 5.3% up. So congrats to anyone who's swing trading XRP. Sometimes you just got to trade that spit for bit, you know. Let's see. We have Cardano also looking up, along with Solana, since they kind of play in the same space. They do the whole proof of stake Ethereum alternative, and so that's what we see here. Dogecoin up 1.5%, and for the week up 5.7%. Reason we pay attention to this is because Doge is proof of work, and Litecoin is proof of work, also up 2.1% today. And Bitcoin Cash also proof of work, up 5.1% today. So I think people are starting to take some of the hype that's happening in XRP and the proof of stake NFT type coins, and they're starting to put their money into proof of work. So it's good to see that happening. And let's go ahead and take a look at some charts. And if you would say what's up in the chat, we love to see the community rumbling. Yeah. There you go. Those are the sounds of me trying to get that page up. Yeehaw. So here is Litecoin, right? We're really paying attention to Litecoin because we're in kind of a hot zone for it to have some big price action. This orange line here is August 2nd. August 2nd is when Litecoin has its halving. And halving means that people who are mining Litecoin, if they have 100 terahash, and for this example, let's say that they get 1 Litecoin per 30 days. Now that same amount of work, the reward will be half. So they will now get about half a Litecoin every 30 days, let's say, in this example. And so what that means is the introduction of supply is lower. And so that kind of, if the demand is the same but supply is lower, then the price goes up. And if the price goes up, sometimes people who do trading want to try to play that, and then the volume goes up. And so there's these things built into things that follow Bitcoin's pattern that just do this, right? They pay attention to they basically have codified price increases built into them. So what we fully expect to happen is for Litecoin to have some sort of rally prior to this, and it'll probably go quiet for a little bit, and then it will possibly rally after as well. But there's so many other black swan things happening right now that Litecoin may have some sort of deviation in the pattern we've seen historically, and so that's what we're going to keep an eye out for, and see if we can note anything. What's up? Good morning, Boston. I see you, brother. So in my view here, we had this first rally. We had a left shoulder form. We came down. We made a head. We came down. And so now I'm expecting us to see a right shoulder. And so far, we are seeing that form. We hit this bottom right here, and we started seeing this come up. I really do think it's going to form this because people expect it. And so the psychosomatic nature of things, I do think we'll see a shoulder. I'm thinking around Thursday, this time next week. I think that's when we're going to see the peak on it. You can't quote me on that, not financial advice, but that's what it's kind of looking like. So pay attention to what's happening there. And then if you were to look at like maybe a bigger view, I wish I had a 3-day. Look at that, 3-day. I do have a 3-day because I added it. You can see all these candles here have huge wicks on them. So huge wick here, huge wick here, huge wick, huge wick, huge wick. And so what does a wick mean? A wick means that the price was thin. And so if we have spinning tops, and I would say this certainly is a spinning top, that means indecision. Okay. And so on a 3-day, we have indecision on where the price is going to be. And over here, when we hit indecision, it ended up being a dramatic pump up. And so now we're having indecision, and because we have the expectation that the halving is going on, I do think that will be a big pump up as well. So we'll keep our eyes peeled on that and let you know when things happen. But I'm personally holding some position here because I really expect the move to happen. We'll see. Dogecoin over here, on a 3-day. Let's see, you can go to auto. There we go. We have this nice descending triangle. You can see is clearly happening, very, very clearly happening. Look at that, just so because we have this like very clear descending wedge pattern, what that does is it puts pressure in this pocket. So as the floor comes up towards the ceiling, it kind of squeezes it in here, and the bulls and the bears have to decide. They just have to. They got to decide what happens. And so typically what happens is it's going to pop up. It's going to pop up big. So we're in the accumulation zone according to my analysis. So if you were to scoop up Doge anywhere in this box, anywhere under 7.4 cents, I think it'll be a good long term. But again, not financial advice. Do your own research, man. Okay. Also, it's hump day, so go ahead and hump that like button if you would. Give it a hump. And so that's Dogecoin. And then taking a look at Bitcoin dominance, I think that's important now. We're coming off of 52% right now. These are 3-day candles. We'll go to 1 days. You can see we're flirting with this idea of like, are we going to go under 50%? Maybe. And here's the deal. Whenever Bitcoin dominance goes under 50%, we tend to see altcoins play. And so I think people are just trying to see, is Ripple really strong enough to whale the rest of the altcoins? And I don't know. I don't know that answer. Good question, though. Looking at Ethereum. Is Ethereum a good coin? Who knows? So we have these channels we're bouncing around in. It looks like our absolute tippy top up here. And I don't know why I don't have a horizontal on this, but I should. So, 2138 is like absolute lid for us at the moment. But really, we're bouncing around inside this channel between 1900 and down here 1750. So bing, 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 bing. We're just bouncing around. And right now we're at the lower level, but I think we do keep going down. with Ethereum, honestly. And I have some news articles on that. We'll talk about it today. And XRP, because I know people are trading it. I don't want to ignore it, and I give people, my take on it at least. So we have this huge rally up. Let's go to our 3-day, and you can see where we're at on the big picture. So it looks like, as far as this guy goes, right here, this support here, or this resistance became the support over here. And this is way too thick. Come on, bro. Boy, you too thick. Can't be like that. You can't be thick like that. And then it looks like right over, where are we at? Yep. This right here became resistance over here. And then, yeah, we have these wicks, and we're totally flirting with that line. And when this came down, yeah. And then we also have, it looks like if we zoom in, you'll see what I'm talking about. This line right here, because we had 2 days that kind of held that level, that became something traders are looking at. And because we retraced up here, it's probably really weak up here because there's like no history for it. So, but I do think these are probably the levels that people are paying attention to. So we have a huge no man's land right in here, and I think that that's what's going to have to be proven out right now. Like that's weak, dude. There's this level right here is super weak. I'll make that yellow just to show that it's weak. So yeah, we don't really have much historical precedence for the price being confident. We have the price being absolutely speculative, right? And so who really knows what happens here? These are 3 days. So on the 1 day, like, we're trying to form basically a resistance, trying to find where the ceiling is. We can't really peg any higher than, and then it will go down, and it will try to test a floor and figure out some sort of band that's going to be there. And depending on how that forms, it may form some sort of trend line, like some sort of wedge going down and going up. And if that happens, then we kind of have like a known date for when it's going to end up being pressurized, but we don't have that yet. And so I won't blow any barbecue smoke up anyone's skirt. So yeah, Ripple's very speculative right now, but I do think since banks are big in it, like, there's money to be made. The question is just, what does the event horizon look like? What time frame we talking, right? So we got Indo. What's up, bro? Happy hump day. I see you. What up? So yeah, that's the charts for the day. Let's go ahead and get into some stories and set you off right. You understand? We'll set you off right. And yeah, we'll do this one first. How does that sound? Wow, this one. So interesting. We've seen some news here from Robert F. Kennedy here. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been going for a presidential campaign. Interestingly, he's a Democrat, but he's got some things that really make him stand out from his contemporary peers. So I did want to cover this in all fairness because he's hanging out with Bitcoin. Let's read. RFK Jr. vows to back dollar with Bitcoin, exempt BTC from taxes. That would be a pretty big deal. Let's read. The Democratic president, hopeful, also reiterated a May stance defending the right to self-custody Bitcoin. That's going to be a big deal. There's a lot of other people really fighting that. Run blockchain nodes at home and promising industry-neutral energy regulation. U.S. Democratic presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. unveiled a plan to exempt Bitcoin from capital gains tax when it is convert it into US dollars, and to begin to back the greenback with real finite assets. Wouldn't that be wild? Such as gold, silver, platinum, and Bitcoin. Satoshi for you, big boy. Bitcoin dollars and US debt obligations with hard assets could help restore strength back to the dollar, rein in inflation, and usher in a new era of American financial stability, peace, and prosperity, said Kennedy. He would start the process, he said, very, very small, perhaps 1% of issued T-bills would be backed by hard currencies like gold, silver, platinum, and Bitcoin. It says, or Bitcoin, to be fair. Speaking at a Heal the Divide PAC event Tuesday evening, he also echoed commitments he made at a conference in May defending the right to self-custody Bitcoin, running blockchain nodes at home, and promising industry-neutral energy regulation. That would be great. The story was first reported by The Street. Not the streets, The Street, you understand? The benefits include facilitating innovation and spurring investment, ensuring the citizen privacy, incentivizing ventures to grow their business and tech jobs in the United States rather than Singapore, Switzerland, Germany, and Portugal, said Kennedy. The Internal Revenue Service treats crypto as property and investments rather than currency, which means it's subject to tax on capital gains. The Securities and Exchange Commission has also been cracking down on the industry. Crypto companies have been calling for more regulatory clarity for months and months and months and months, and are looking to see if a ruling against the SEC in its lawsuit with Ripple will lead to a change in approach. It is a mistake for the U.S. government to hobble the industry and drive innovation elsewhere. Thank you for saying that, Kennedy. He wrote in a Twitter post in May. Biden's proposed 30% tax on cryptocurrency mining is a bad idea. That's an understatement. Very interesting understatement you said there. By the way, 0 people would even accept that. 0 people would put up with 30%. Get bent, dude. They would just find some way to skirt it. He wrote, referring to incumbent President Joe Biden, also a Democrat. So, wow. I love that. It says, story continues below and there's nothing below. It's hilarious. That's funny. So, yeah, like Indo here is saying he's making moves. Overall, he's a pretty good guy, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think he's like the perfect candidate, but I think that he's the best candidate the Democrats have seen in a long time. I can certainly say that. There's some things that just from a libertarian perspective, I think he's not quite all there on. Like, he is for some gun policy. He's not for extreme gun policy, like taking people's guns away, but he does want to make some types of guns illegal, that type of thing. So, do your own research. He's a mixed bag, but overall, I love that he's not focused on slinging mud. He's actually focused on having policy conversation, and that's really refreshing. And even people like Donald Trump, for example, made this mistake where, like, just for example, when he and Hillary were having their presidential debates, they didn't talk about policy. They just insulted each other the whole time. So, I hope to see that never be accepted in American politics again, because we need conversations about policy. We don't need to make this into a dramatization, right? So let's talk about policy. Let's disagree on policy, but show some respect for people sharing the stage with us, shall we? So Litecoin halving is 13 days away. So where is the LTC price rally? And Cointelegraph is talking about this. So going against Bitcoin is a tough pill to swallow for investors in one of the oldest altcoins. And this is a guy with a magnifying glass trying to figure out how it works. Poor guy. Yeah, word. Bitcoin is still almost a year away from its next block reward halving, but Litecoin miners are already bracing for impact. In less than 2 weeks, Litecoin's block subsidy will drop from 12.5 Litecoin to 6.25 Litecoin per block. Oof. Whales stock up on LTC, but BTC values stay weak. So despite its fair share of controversy, Litecoin remains the 12th largest cryptocurrency by market cap at around $6.8 billion. Its miners currently rake in 7,200 Litecoin in block rewards daily, equaling around $670,000. As the halving nears, major investors appear to be seeking an easy trade, with popular trader Mikey Bull Crypto and other noting whales buying up almost $60 million worth of Litecoin in the past 2 days. Let's go. So here's Mikey Crypto Bull. Litecoin whales have bought over 590,000 LTC in the last 48 hours, worth around 59 million. Halving is a few days ahead. Yeah. Oh, that's a nice chart. That's a nice little chart there. So he's looking at volume, is what the red is, I think. Yep. So in BTC terms, however, there appears to be little worth celebrating. Litecoin currently trades near all-time lows against the largest cryptocurrency. Data from Cointelegraph Market Pro and TradingView shows a trend that has persisted through the years regardless of previous halvings. So as of July 19th, LTC BTC trades at 31 Satoshi, with its all-time low of 17 Satoshi coming in June 20. By contrast, one Litecoin was once worth as much as 52 Satoshi, the equivalent of 1,560 today. So that's what they're looking at. They're looking at where it sits with Bitcoin, which is fair. I think that's a proper way to look at Litecoin as well. I do think there's some economics that come into play, though, because miners have fixed costs, right? Like their power purchase agreements are whatever they're at. And so miners typically keep a big bag of crypto and a big bag of cash. That way, if the price of Litecoin, for example, gets too low, they can basically use the cash to buy more Litecoin and hopefully increase the price and create a support level there. That way, the price of Litecoin stays above their cost of doing business. So if they need to liquidate any Litecoin when it pumps in order to get those cash reserves up, they can. So it's just that's a mechanism that I think people don't pay attention to. Litecoin's all-time high in USD came in May 2021 when it traded at over 400 per token versus its more modest 93 today. So a little consolidation for Bitcoin forks. In terms of weakness against Bitcoin, Litecoin is far from the worst performer. It's a good performer. What do you mean? A popular comparison through the years has been forks of Bitcoin versus Bitcoin itself. Okay. And the results continue to paint a grim picture of the reality going against. Do you mean Bitcoin Cash? You wanna call that proper? So what they mean is Bitcoin Cash over Bitcoin. Let's get that straight. So they paint a grim picture of the reality going against market's network of choice. So Bitcoin Cash saw all-time lows in BTC last month, and despite a bounce since, it remains at just 817 Satoshi, 98% below its all-time high of 0.432 BTC. So yeah, here's the nuance here. Bitcoin Cash doesn't have people who really believe it's valuable. Like that's the difference. No one actually thinks Bitcoin Cash is Bitcoin. And Roger Ver, as hard as he tried to push that, like no one buys it. Everyone sees Bitcoin Cash as just some crappy altcoin that tried to steal the spotlight, right? So for Bitcoin Satoshi's vision, which shouldn't even be talked about, this thing's stupid. The picture's even worse with a copycat bounce from local lows, record lows in June, already stalling. At the time of writing, Satoshi's vision over BTC traded at the bottom because it's worth nothing. Get out of here. Go to bed. So I think what this is trying to say is people who are new to the space don't understand this. That, well, these things forked off Bitcoin, so they must be the same. No, they're not. Satoshi's vision's trash. Bitcoin Cash is good at functioning, but had terrible marketing, and frankly, is just some crappy altcoin. As opposed to Litecoin, has been a test net for Bitcoin. So I would say Litecoin is functionally very different from the rest of the Bitcoin forks. And Litecoin has ordinals on it now. Litecoin is still very, very good in its utility. It's cheap to transact. It's very fast. So I think all of these things, plus its history, like how long it's been in the market, as opposed to Bitcoin Cash or Satoshi's Vision, like they're not at all comparable. Litecoin is a big pretty boy. Do you understand? So let's get into our next article here, though. The SEC accepts BlackRock's application for spot Bitcoin. What? BlackRock's participation in the race to launch a spot Bitcoin ETF holds great significance due to its stature in the financial industry. The United States Securities and Exchange Commission has taken a significant step in the potential approval of a spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund, or ETF. BlackRock, a prominent financial firm, has had its application accepted by the SEC, following a similar acknowledgement of Bitwise's application. My face was itchy. The previous day. Accepting BlackRock's proposal marks the beginning of the official review process for their ETF. So while this is just the initial stage of a lengthy regulatory journey, it signifies the SEC's willingness to explore the concept of a spot Bitcoin ETF and evaluate its potential impact on the market. ETFs are investment funds that typically track specific indexes that are commonly traded on exchanges. In the realm of cryptocurrencies, a cryptocurrency ETF refers to a fund that mirrors the value of one or more digital tokens and encompasses a range of cryptocurrencies. On July 14th, the SEC also announced that it is currently reviewing applications for various funds, including Wise, Origin, Bitcoin Trust, Wisdom Tree, Van Eck, and Invesco Galaxy. BlackRock's participation in the race to launch a spot Bitcoin ETF holds great significance due to its stature in the financial industry. Their filing for a spot Bitcoin ETF includes an agreement for surveillance sharing with Coinbase, a prominent cryptocurrency exchange. Interesting. I don't like that sentence. I'm not bothered by the concept, but I don't like that term, surveillance sharing. The competition among companies striving to be the first to introduce a Bitcoin ETF in the United States is viewed as a positive development for the crypto industry. With multiple applications being considered, the chances of success increase, and the diverse proposals allow the SEC to evaluate different strategies and concerns. While the SEC has not yet approved a spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States, such financial products are already available in Canada. Regulators in the country have approved 3 significant funds: Purpose Bitcoin, 3IQ CoinShares, and CI Galaxy Bitcoin. What's up? Happy Wednesday, family. Good morning. Appreciate that, Just Bossy. The acceptance of BlackRock's application and the ongoing review process for other ETF proposals indicate a growing recognition of the potential of cryptocurrencies in the mainstream financial sector. And it's happening. Deal with it. As the SEC continues its evaluation, the market eagerly awaits the decision on the first spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States. So, yeah, everybody, please listen. Once this first one gets approved, the sentiment on Bitcoin is going to rally. Because not just are people going to buy the ETF, people are going to buy Bitcoin as well. Because I really do think that wealthy people understand that if you're not holding your keys, it's not as secure. So I think there's a bait and switch that's going to happen here. I think people are going to pump money into the Bitcoin ETFs to get normies to be like, oh, I should do that too. Look how much profit's there. And then people are going to slowly move their money from these ETFs over into actual Bitcoin itself, getting normal people out of Bitcoin self-custody and into the middleman ETF. So don't do that. Don't do that. But know that the price of both is probably going to pump. That's my take on that. So Neon EVM launches to support Ethereum apps on Solana. That's a big deal, man. So it looks like we're probably going to see Ethereum apps playing nice on Solana, which is good for Solana. Neon EVM released today a computing environment that allows developers to write Ethereum applications on top of Solana. Neon's implementation is a smart contract built on top of Solana to deploy Ethereum virtual machine code. That's something that's not been possible so far on the network. The development team announced the completion of the necessary tooling for Ethereum developers to transition their projects to Solana. A move, it said, could potentially reduce the operational cost of their applications. That'd be cool. It expressed confidence that its EVM solution will integrate effectively with Solana's high throughput capabilities to host Ethereum apps and is currently conducting extensive tests in this regard. In addition to providing access to the Solana network, Neon EVM hopes to enable Ethereum apps to take advantage of the functionality native to Solana, including parallel execution of transactions. We are very excited to see Neon EVM live on Solana mainnet, said Marina Guyeve, director of Neon Foundation. Once we repeat these tests in production, we will present the figures based on the real-world data. So what's the takeaway here? Solana, they are centralized, but they are trying to develop tools for decentralized platforms. They say they themselves are going to be decentralized at some point. It's on the roadmap. So I think the idea here is that for the meantime, they understand that they are tooling an SDK for other decentralized platforms. And I think that's why they're playing with Ethereum. Now, could you argue that Ethereum is certainly a distributed system, but maybe a few gatekeepers hold a majority of the coins? Yeah, you could probably argue that. But just the same, I think it is probably a distributed and a decentralized network. The question is just, is it as bulletproof as proof of work? I'd say no. But just the same on a practical level, I think it's more secure than a lot of other databases might be. So I have no issue with people building things on Ethereum. Just don't expect Ethereum to replace Bitcoin as a Fort Knox of financial value, if that makes sense. Gundy, what's up, dude? Good morning. Yo, I see you, Crypto Nation. Crypto Nation. So that's that. And then over here, this is our headline for the day. Judge orders Ripple and SEC to schedule settlement conference. And this is the gavel. If you don't settle, they make you put your balls on the table and they smash them. That's your punishment. You don't want that. Nobody wants that, man. In the ongoing legal battle between Ripple Labs and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, District Judge Annalisa Torres has referred the case to Magistrate Judge Sarah Netburn for general pretrial, including crucial aspects of scheduling, discovery, non-dispositive pretrial motions, what a word, and settlement. The general pretrial refers to a pretrial hearing where the attorneys representing the plaintiff and defendant work together to establish the relevant facts, issues, and applicable laws that will be presented during the subsequent court trial. Shortly after that, Judge Netburn ordered both parties to agree on 3 mutual convenient dates to schedule a settlement conference if they believe is yet to be productive at this time. The judge recommends scheduling a settlement conference 6 to 8 weeks beforehand due to the court's busy schedule, as first reported by Fox Business journalist Eleanor Tourette. This move has sparked anticipation with the XRP community. Ripple versus SEC settlement ahead. Judge Neperin's directive is significant, as it indicates a potential opportunity for both parties to engage in productive discussions and explore the possibility for a settlement. Or possibility of a settlement. However, it is important to note that the judge's suggestion does not guarantee an imminent resolution to the case. As clarified by legal experts, the parties must first decide if they believe a settlement conference would be productive at this stage. It means if they do decide on a date, it will have to be scheduled 6 to 8 weeks in advance of the desired date due to the court's busy schedule. While the court urges both Ripple and SEC to explore settlement possibilities, the decision ultimately rests with the involved parties. There is a possibility that one or both sides may decline to participate in a settlement conference or fail to reach an agreement, even if they do engage in discussions. However, the court's recommendations highlight the importance of considering alternative paths to resolution. They will likely schedule one so as not to anger the court, but it will go about as well as the last 2 settlement conferences before it went. Settlement only happens when both parties finally reach the compromise each can stomach. Pro-XRP attorney Fred Rispoli, what a name, commented with a touch of skepticism. Settlement negotiations require a delicate balance, as each party must reach a compromise that aligns with their respective interests. Remarkably, Judge Neperin has been engaged in the case since its inception. She rendered a crucial ruling in favor of Ripple against the SEC. In a significant development, Judge Neperin issued an order compelling the SEC to relinquish the highly contentious Hinman documents, which encompass the draft versions of William Hinman's speech delivered on June 14, 2018. At press time, the XRP price was 74 cents. With a big old dilly bar. So, yeah, it seems like this might happen. At very least, someone's nuts are going to get smashed for that gavel, so be careful. Be careful out there, man. Also, if you had the choice of your right hand getting smashed by a gavel, your right foot getting smashed by a gavel, or your balls getting smashed by a gavel, which one would you prefer? 1, 2, or 3? Say in the chat. Let me know. For me, I would say I don't know, man. I need my hand to work. Anyways, let's see here. Yikes. U.S. Congressman calls Gary Gensler, stop attacking cryptocurrencies. Stop it. So U.S. Congressman Richie Torres addressed Gary Gensler about cryptocurrencies in his letter. Look at this guy. He's like, bro, we got to quit it. U.S. Congressman Richie Torres wrote a letter to the SEC chairman Gary Gensler, asking the SEC to reconsider its approach to regulating cryptocurrencies, calling the attack stupid and a crusade. Or as they say, crusada. Yeah, 5. Boston's like, all of them. Hit me with every one of them. 1 + 2 + 3. It'd be 6. Maybe you just got 2 and 3. Ouch, dude. Gundy said he'd take the balls every time because he needs his feet and he needs his hands. That's the rules. I understand. Congressman Torres referred to a recent court ruling by New York Southern District Judge Annalisa Torres, who ruled that cryptocurrencies are not securities in and of themselves, but can be sold as part of investment contracts covered by the Howey test. So they can be a part of it, is the ruling, okay? Torres described the decision as a landmark legal opinion that rejects the regulatory excess and sloppy practices of the SEC's Howey test. That's true. You do already got chillins. It's got the noobs. Torres called the judge's decision the Torres doctrine, which he said should guide the SEC's future actions and provide legal clarity to the crypto industry. He also criticized the SEC for failing to provide fair reporting, clear rules, or consistent guidance to the crypto industry, instead relying on general politically timed enforcement actions. The member of Congress urged the SEC to focus its efforts on combating fraud, market manipulation, but why? The Pelosi's like it so much, and misuse of client funds. Rather than attempting to regulate digital non-security assets, he said he hopes the SEC will be punished by the court's decision and reevaluate its regulatory attack on crypto assets. Yeah, okay then. So that's cool to see at least some people are given given heat here. Question is, oh, interesting. So Richie Torres is a Democrat too. So that's cool. I mean, it's cool to see, you know, someone who is the same party as people like Pelosi criticizing and saying that maybe we should get on things that benefit Pelosi a little bit. Wouldn't that be nice? Let's see here. Blockworks. So Microsoft's Azure node deployment opens doors for easier Web3 app development. And the reason we're covering this, I want you to see that companies like Microsoft are making, cloud tools for developers to get into Web3 even further. So as tools increase, abilities increase. As abilities increase, development increases. So yeah, Shaka. I appreciate the Shaka Seasider. I shaka to you. Shaka, shaka. Anchor and Matter Labs hope the partnership will lower the barrier of entry for enterprise blockchain technology. And this is a picture of someone zooming in on their phone screen. So good for you, man. That's a weird thing to have as your picture. It's like when people hold a piece of paper up or hold their phone up to like their camera. You're like, bro, what are you doing? Anchor teamed up with Matter Labs to bring ZK Sync era nodes and hyperchain blockchain solutions to Anchor's Azure marketplace. I like it. Anchor and Microsoft teamed up earlier this year with Anchor's Azure listing launched in June. Anchor is a Web3 infrastructure provider, while Matter Labs is the developer behind Ethereum Layer 2 rollup ZK Sync. According to a press release, the aim is to integrate technology from all three Microsoft's cloud infrastructure, ZK Sync era's blockchain network, and Anchor's solution. ZK Sync era node deployment services will offer global blockchain connections, enabling any enterprise or Web3 project to connect to or build Web3 apps on top of ZK Sync era, a ZK EVM Ethereum Layer 2 scaling protocol, the release said. In a June document focused on zero-knowledge tech, the team at Matter Labs said they want zero-knowledge proof technology to embody integrity, privacy, and magic. Wow. Magic the Gathering. If we want to scale blockchain technology like the internet, we need to be able to accommodate the most complex Web 2 use cases with the most stringent requirements in terms of security, performance, and privacy, or privacy as the lay people say. It's privacy. Among other factors, said Marco Cora. What a fun name. Marco Cora, Senior Vice President of Business and Operations at Matter Labs. Cora also hopes the partnership will lower the barrier to entry and ignite enterprise adoption of blockchains. That sentence is great. With the addition of our recently announced ZK stack, we expect more and more enterprises use cases to take off on ZK Sync era. Enterprises will be able to build and launch a customizable hyperchain blockchain to further push their Web3 aspirations. Additionally, Anchor's team will offer support and engineering. By offering the ability to build on ZK Sync era via Anchor's Microsoft Azure Marketplace solutions, we are breaking barriers to entry for an array of businesses that need their unique scalability and performance requirements met before they begin building out Web3 initiatives, Anchor CEO Chandler Song said. Microsoft also announced a partnership with Axelar earlier this month. The team up between the technology company and the interoperability network would also help companies on the Azure marketplace access services and developer tools for their pushes into blockchain technology. So this is good news, dude. This is like normal IT stuff is starting to show up in the blockchain world. So I'm vibing on this, man. Yeah, pretty interesting. Polygon mulls governance restructure in a Polygon 2.0 roadmap. Speaking of Ethereum and extensions, developers have proposed an ecosystem council to push smart contract upgrades as well as changes to how community-based funding works. And this is a guy pointing at a table. Like, yeah, dude, that's a table. Developer Polygon Labs on Wednesday proposed a restructuring of the governance mechanisms for the upcoming Polygon 2.0 roadmap, which seeks to create multiple layer 2s on the network. Developers said the new government structure would consist of 3 main pillars, each pertaining to a specific function. First would be the expansion of the Polygon Improvement Proposal, or PIP, framework, which allows users to propose and research upgrades for Polygon protocols to all blockchains and applications that run on the Polygon network. This would allow community members to research and propose upgrades that may eventually become part of protocols. Second, a system smart contract governance pillar that facilitates upgrades for protocol changes or software that is implemented as a smart contract. Such changes would be overseen by an ecosystem council, elected and governed by the community, made up of reputed members. Third, a community treasury governance mechanism that supports the Polygon ecosystem's growth and funds projects. It will be managed by an independent community treasury board, eventually transitioning to community-driven governance. As such, Polygon Labs has urged the ecosystem stakeholders, such as developers and network validators, to discuss the governance plans as these are subject to community approval. Also, can we just laugh that they keep doing this? Story continues below. Polygon Matic tokens are down 1.1 over the past 24 hours trading. You're like, that's the end of the article? Come on, bro. Really? So that's goofy. But do you hear that? Basically, they're trying to be as democratic as possible on the Polygon network. So that's cool, man. I think power to the people is a good approach here. Poly upgrade should be interesting. Wonder what it'll do to the price. Yeah, Ando, I think you're asking the right questions. It's probably going to give confidence that it's going to be evaluated even higher. The price goes up. The price goes up, Jarny. The price goes up. So what is extended reality? You heard of this? Like, you know, there's like VR, like virtual reality. Well, there's also extended reality, and this is starting to be talked about. So let's cover it here because this will certainly come into our whole token economy reality and the way we're using tech. So, and also that lady is pointing at a nudist. You don't see him. He's off the screen, but that's what she's pointing at. She can see his name and height statistic above his head, but she sees a nudist. And this guy is pretending he is a DJ. And so that's what you're seeing there. So an overview of extended reality. Extended reality refers to technologies combining real and virtual settings to produce engaging and immersive experiences. So virtual reality, VR, and augmented reality, AR, and mixed reality, MR, are just a few of the technologies that fall under the umbrella term of XR, or extended reality. I wonder if they know that extended starts with an E, but ER sounds a little bit more dangerous, doesn't it? VR is a technology that immerses people entirely in a digital simulation, cutting them off from their surroundings, right? So VR is no reality. A virtual environment is often displayed through screens or lenses while users wear a VR headset recording their head movements. Users can explore virtual surroundings, interact with objects, and participate in various activities through VR experiences. AR, like Pokemon Go, overlays digital information onto the real world, enhancing the user's perception and interactions with their physical surroundings. Usually, AR is used with smartphones, tablets, or AR glasses, which make you look like a doofus. Users can simultaneously engage with both virtual and physical aspects thanks to its ability to project virtual objects, text, or images into the actual world. Numerous industries, including gaming, education, navigation, and industrial training, use augmented reality applications. MR, or mixed reality, is a hybrid form of reality integrating components of VR and AR. Users of MR systems can engage with virtual items while staying conscious of and engaging with real-world surroundings. Wearing specialized headsets or glasses is a common requirement for mixed reality, which enables the appearance of virtual objects and their integrations with the real world by tracking the user's position and surroundings. So here's the whole spectrum. It's a spectrum. So we have physical world and the virtual world. Augmented reality is where we have a focus on the physical world with a few digital items overlaid. Virtual reality is just the virtual world. And so mixed reality combines things. So the idea is that the virtual reality, it has an awareness of like the physical objects in the room with you. So you could, for example, put a digital vase with flowers on a physical table, and you'd be able to see it there, and it would act accordingly, to like the table actually being there. I think is the idea. So XR technologies are utilized for various purposes, including recreation, gaming, education, training simulations, online meetings, please don't do that, and collaborations, architectural and industrial design, healthcare, and more. By creating immersive and compelling experiences beyond conventional interfaces, XR has the potential to completely transform how we engage with information, communication, learn, and experience virtual worlds. And so how extended reality works. XR works by constructing immersive experiences that combine real-world and virtual components. The specific workings of extended reality depend on the technology being used, whether it's VR, AR, or MR. And here's how they work. So I think I just discussed that. So if you want to read the rest of that article, I will throw that in the chat for y'all. Thank you so much for joining us here on Crypto and Coffee, here on Decentralized TV. You know I love you, and I'll be back on Friday. But until then, keep calm, hodl on. You know what to do. Don't panic. Don't you do it. Don't you panic. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it, girl. It ain't worth it. So let's jam out and look. I'm feeling like we jamming out. So we jamming out. I'll see you later. One in there. Make a stink face right here.